Hey everyone, it's the week of July 19th, 2010. My name is Rob Tart, and this is Pie's Perspective. A man in Cottage Grove, Illinois named Michael Lester is suing a pest control company after continued ringing and buzzing in his ears. It turns out the pest control company was using explosives to remove rodents close to his home. Now Lester claims that the blasts rattled the doors and the windows of his house. He also alleges that the pest control worker didn't warn neighbors that he was about to blast some rodents into next week. Lester went over to complain to the pest control worker that he was blasting too close to his home and that he was worried about damage. The worker ignored the man and then continued his eradication by explosives. Since when is it okay or even necessary to use explosives to get rid of rodents? What happened to the good old days when first you would just ask the rodents to leave nicely, and then if that didn't work you resort to poison or mouse traps? I also think that someone would probably need a permit before being allowed to set off explosives in a residential area. I know it would be a little disconcerting to me to see my pest control guy roll up in a van full of dynamite. Do you really even need the pest control guy if you plan to use explosives? Why not just bring in a demolition expert? Even then, if removing a rodent results in a 12-foot charred hole in my wall, that's like cutting off the head to cure the headache. Now on the positive side, I have no more rodents, and all the blast holes allow a pleasant breeze to circulate through my home. On the negative side, I now have 14 entrances to my home, most of which don't have doors. Now where does it end with this company? I mean, why stop at explosives? Why not position rodent snipers on roofs around the home? Lob flash grenades in to stun the rodents, then send in marine rodents to clear the room. Maybe have them capture one alive for interrogation. And then if that doesn't work, finally call in an airstrike. Hey kids, what can I get you?
Gee, mister, what do you got?
Well, we have the Ratesicle. It usually gets a thumbs up. The Subscribesicle is always a good choice. The 3-flavor Favesicle is always a crowd favorite. And I often get positive feedback from the comment on a stick.
It all looks so good. I'm having trouble deciding. I think I want one of each.
While she's deciding what she wants, I would encourage you, the viewer, to help yourself to some ice cream. And if you're having trouble deciding, have one of each. It's my treat. A woman in Austria received a personally addressed letter from her electricity company. Now, the letter asked for information about her contract after her passing away. The woman then faxed and emailed the company to let them know that she was in fact still alive. She eventually had to go to the customer center to prove her existence. Now what kind of a mental midget would address a letter to a dead person? Common sense would dictate that they probably would have a little trouble reading it. And even if they could, cell phone coverage from the beyond is sporadic at best. Now I wonder why the company wasn't convinced that the woman was still alive after she faxed them and emailed them. People who are deceased don't generally waste their time on trivial matters like dealing with the power company. I know I personally could care less if they cut off my power after I die. And you would think that simply calling the woman would be enough. When the woman answers the phone, if you're still not convinced she's alive, just ask her if she's dead. If she answers no, there's a pretty good chance that she hasn't kicked the oxygen habit just yet. I can't believe this woman finally had to resort to going down to the power company personally. Considering their need for hard evidence that somebody's bought the farm, I'm surprised they didn't do a DNA test on the woman. Maybe throw holy water on her and see if she screams. Ask her if she feels the preliminary symptoms of rigor mortis, you know, a stiff neck or something. Now the power company claims that the whole thing was a muddle in their paperwork. I think it was a muddle in their brain pan. Now even if there was a mistake in the paperwork, the resulting comedy of errors that arose from this woman having to prove she was alive makes me wonder if half the employees at the power company aren't with us anymore. At least mentally. I think the lights are a little dim upstairs with those people. Sorry, I just had to slip in an electricity related joke. Just in case my electric company is wondering, I'm still alive. Even though my wife says that I'm dead on the inside. Today's question of the day is, come up with a novel way to get rid of rodents. I talked about a few of them in my story, and I'm kind of interested to see what people's imaginations can come up with. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. Thanks for watching. My name's Rob Tart, and remember, it's not necessarily right or wrong. It's just my perspective. The worker just ignored the man and then 14 entrances, and even if they could, cell phone coverage from the beyond is sporadic. I'm gonna lisp. Cell phone coverage from the beyond